Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hazel from Hazel Hopes, and today I'm going to talk to you about an experience. In fact, it was my first experience going into store to buy a luxury item, my first luxury item. So let's get into it. And I didn't know who I was going to be buying my luxury item from. I mean, Selfridges, as you know, or those who don't know, is a big, massive department store in London, in Bond Street, Oxford Street, and it holds names such as Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Christian Dior, and heaps of others. Chanel, sorry, someone's doing things in the garden. So heaps of other designer names in that store. So we were dressed up, we're going to go out for lunch, we're going to make a day of it and have the nice luxury experience. Now, when I tell you, you make memories, you do things and you make memories. So unfortunately, this day did not turn out to be very positive, because went into Selfridges, that's all lovely. I walked into Louis Vuitton. I thought, let's look at Louis Vuitton. Let's just be open-minded, look at Louis Vuitton. Let's look around and da-da-da. From the corner of my eye, I saw this guy turn so quickly and then bolted to the shelf that I was looking at, and it was a security guard. And I was taken aback, and I looked at him and he sort of looked at me but didn't look at me. And I said to my daughter, "Did you just see that?" And she said, "Yes." He's just assumed that you either can't afford it, you shouldn't be in this store, or whatever. And I was furious. I was so mad. And I probably did say a little bit too loud, like, how dare you? How dare someone make you feel like that? That's disgusting, you know. And I was just out to mind my own business, to buy a designer handbag. And there's no way in hell I would have bought something from that shop. So I walked out straight away and I felt like crap. I felt like, do I look like shit, basically? And my daughter said, "No, Mum, you look lovely. You look really nice. You've made an effort. You've come out. You've got money on your card. You're going out to have a nice experience with me. We're going to go and get some lunch. We're going to go and get some cocktails. You know, let's just have a nice time still." But it just didn't work out like that. So we went straight into Prada, because Prada's just opposite Louis Vuitton. So when I went into Prada, the sales associate there was very, very, very friendly, showed us all the bags, didn't put any pressure on us, took my phone number, said, well, you know, go and get your lunch, because you're going to go get some lunch and some cocktails. And if you want to come back and have a look, have a second look, you're more than welcome to come back. And I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. Not that we did the whole champagne thing with them and we wasn't seated, but we spent a lot of time with this gentleman, and he was really lovely and patient. And, you know, I probably could have bought a bag from there just to two fingers up at Louis Vuitton, to be fair. But the way that I was made to feel by going into Louis Vuitton, I don't even know why, but that negative feeling stayed with me for the rest of the day. And he ruined my day. That guy ruined my day, and I was mad. So I went home with nothing that day. I didn't want to buy anything because it was tainted. It was tainted by this man's behaviour. So then I went to Selfridges probably about 3 weeks later, not to buy anything. And I was, I think I was meeting a friend around the corner. So I was walking past Selfridges and I thought, you know what, I'm going to pop in. So I popped in, and I was, you know, you can literally walk around the long way in Selfridges to avoid Louis Vuitton. And I said to myself, no, I'm not going to avoid Louis Vuitton. And I walked in and I saw there was a manager on the, they've got a front desk there. So I went up there and they were lovely. How can I help you? And I just said, oh, I want to tell you about a situation that happened to me 2 weeks ago. And I told her the whole story. And she was mortified. She said, did you tell anyone on the day? I said, no, I didn't, because it had happened to me on that day and I had to react in the way, I mean, my feelings were hurt. My feelings were hurt, and I didn't react badly in a sense that I didn't, you know, pull the roof down and complain and F and blind. I didn't do any of that, though I could have. I was very polite. I was very angry, and I have never bought anything from Louis Vuitton. I've always been a grudge holder, but there's an aspect, this is what I want to talk to you about. There's an aspect of people that I hear on YouTube when they bought like Chanel items and they've gone in and they've said, oh, the sales associate was so grumpy. Oh, they're looking me up and down. And I'm like, well, why are you giving them your money? They don't deserve your money. If they can't even pretend to put a smile on their face and pretend to be happy to be seeing this customer walk through the door, then they don't deserve your hard-earned money. However, and you know, like an ex-boyfriend or an ex-partner, and they are known for wearing a certain perfume or a certain aftershave, and you've broken up and you're like, oh God, I'm so glad I've finished with them. But you smell that aftershave or that perfume in the future, and it brings you back to that memory, which could be a negative memory. So it's very similar to that situation. But she did apologise, and she asked me if I would like to be shown and have some time with them, and I said, not right now. I said, I'm really not kind of over it, but I wanted to let you know in case this guy is a serial judgment person and he's basically scaring off customers. You know, just in case. I don't want someone else to feel more worse than what I do, because that's not how you should be treating people. And she said, thank you so much for letting me know. I said, please tell other staff members that this person's been doing this, because it's unacceptable. And she got it. She really got it. I could tell by her face. She wasn't just being a polite little yes ma'am, no ma'am. She wasn't doing that. You could tell she had compassion and empathy for the situation, which was nice. But anyway, roll forward about 4 weeks from that incident. I walked into Gucci in Westfield in London, West London, and immediately I was treated very, very well. It was nice and quiet, and I got talking to this lovely gentleman, and I told him my situation, my problem. It's not a problem. I'm tall. I'm 6 foot, so I've got a long torso. And I've got a long torso and I've got long legs. Now, the problem with me is finding bags to fit. And he said, right, I'm tall. He says, let me help you. He goes, I'll try some on, you try some on, and we can discount it a lot easier by us trying it on. So he goes, what colour do you like? Do you want leather? Do you want canvas? This and that and the other. So I literally was going, okay, let's go for it. And he, oh, do you want some champagne? I said, oh, yeah, thank you. So this was the first shop to offer me a glass of champagne. And my daughter was there as well. So he brought out 2 champagnes, silver tray. And I was like, this is the luxury shopping experience that I wanted. We were probably there for like 2 hours. This guy was so friendly. He said, there's no pressure whatsoever. If you want to buy this or not, take some photographs. You can go away, think it through, come back. You know, just here's my name. You can ask for me again in the future. He was so lovely. And I now have been going to Gucci for 2.5 years. So yes, I know a lot of people will want to buy a designer item. Maybe it's because it's something got on their wish list. Maybe it's because they've been influenced to buying an item in a certain colour, a certain like leather or canvas, and that's absolutely fine. But if there's bad customer services, if you're judged, if they've looked at you and already judged that you're not worthy, I would just walk out. Why would you have a negative association? So the item you've got a negative association. In fact, I remember a lady the other day saying that she bought a pair of designer shoes and she was judged about her size and she was mortified, but she bought the shoes. But whenever she talks about her shoes, she always talks about the bad customer services. So why? I just don't understand people who would give their money to a company if they're going to make you have a negative feeling from that item. Does that make sense? Am I the only one? I mean, you know, I mentioned the boyfriend, girlfriend thing, if you have like the scent, but also I remember when I had a bad day at work and I would literally come home and I would strip my clothes off and I would wash it. I just felt like I needed to decontaminate myself from the day. To ask you, have you been made to feel basically like crap? You go into a shop I'm not talking about your local supermarket where they think you're a shoplifter. I'm talking about a luxury shop that you've made an effort to go out somewhere. And you know what? It doesn't even matter if you haven't made an effort. If you've got the money in your purse to buy these items, or, you know, in the bank, then it doesn't really matter what you look like, though we know. But obviously we know that brands do make judgments on how you look. But when I was talking to my Gucci guy, I told him what happened to me, and he said in training, for them, they always talk about Pretty Woman as a training. And he says, and I love that. I love that you could be walking in your dog clothes. You could be your dog walking clothes. I mean, you could be rushing out after work and you're all hot and bothered, and you haven't had a chance to go home and change, and then go and buy your designer item. At the end of the day, if you've got the money in the bank or the credit card in your purse, you know, you can justify spending it, then why not? You know, knock your socks off, enjoy yourself, live your life, whatever makes you happy. Have you been treated badly, or you feel like you've been looked down upon or judged? Do you put negative associations on products like what I do? I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't own the products, so therefore there's no negative association, because I wouldn't allow that situation. I wouldn't buy the item. I know people do, maybe don't care as much, and they want that item, no matter what. I put feelings into my purchases. So therefore, if someone's been an absolute twat to me, I won't like that item, because I'm going to remember that story with that bag or that SLG or that item of clothing. So in that way, it's good, because that means that everything I've got is from positive experiences. Yeah. But has this happened to you? Do you put feelings, and would you buy the item no matter what? Or would you, I mean, don't get me wrong, I could probably have walked out the store and then ordered it online, and it wasn't from that same day, same occasion. So there is that, I could cut a corner and do it that way. But I'm just wondering, am I the only one? Because my brain is wired up a little bit differently to most people's. So I'm just wondering, would you feel the same way that I did? Would you still buy the item? Would you have a negative association about that item whenever you look at it? I'm really interested in knowing this. So please let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.